Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome back to the Billy and Andre Show, the only show on YouTube that's following the mainstream media pathway of not talking about the Epstein files properly. How are you doing, Andre?
Oh, really good.
Yeah.
Not to talk about the Epstein files again.
Yeah, which we're trying really hard not to. We're just like the BBC.
Well, no, the BBC is talking about it because they're actually looking to prosecute some of them.
I know, it's kind of amazing, actually.
It's hilarious. Everybody in the world is trying to prosecute their own C-3POs.
Yeah.
But
C-3POs.
Yeah. So I don't want to say that word.
That's fair. That's the first 5 minutes of the YouTube video. So
yeah. So it's like, have you noticed that? Right? America's completely avoiding it.
Yeah.
But the rest of the world, they're actually taking it serious.
Fun fact: I actually have something written specifically for you on this topic.
Oh, did you?
It's a list.
Oh, of course it is.
It's a list. It's a list of people who have been arrested or resigned over the Epstein thing from various countries. For example, Peter Mandelson from the UK.
Yeah, good for him.
Deep ties with Epstein, deep ties with the Starmer government. Now he's from both.
I thought you're not going to swear in the first 5 minutes.
I did not make any promises. Yeah, Peter Mandelson is out, which is good because he's Satan. But he's just, the central pin of a whole sort of network of Labour guys who were like involved with Epstein. There's a whole bunch of people resigning now. A lot of people sort of disappearing from public life, as it were, pretending they didn't have anything to do with it, etc., etc. Lots of members of the royal family, for example, who set up charities, who also had personal relationships with Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, you're talking about Andrew. Was there more than one?
It wasn't just Andrew. It was Andrew's wife was involved with him as well. Sarah Ferguson, former Duchess of York, former wife of the former Prince Andrew. There's a lot of formers in here.
It did. Like, I was like, wait, former of a former.
Former of a former. Yeah.
But wait, did the king actually ask him to give back his title of prince?
Yeah. He's officially lost his title. He's no longer Prince Andrew. He is Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, which is apparently his real last name, which nobody talks about.
But Mountbatten's aren't the other big powerful family, right?
Yeah. It was a very big family. Lord Mountbatten, very famously, was like a top British military guy for a long time until the IRA literally turned him into the first astronaut by putting astrolite underneath him.
Well, wait, isn't Mountbatten? Princess Diana was Mountbatten, right?
I'm not entirely sure if her last name was originally Mountbatten. I can't.
Or is it the current
remember.
queen is Mountbatten?
Oh, I think the current queen was no. That's Camilla Parker Bowles you're thinking of. She's the current queen, which is weird to say.
It's insane.
The king's side piece is like officially queen of the country. It's so weird.
I mean, they allowed it, and Diana didn't really have a choice.
Diana was actually a good sort of like thought. Like, I should do Diana at some point in terms of like
No, she was amazing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, but in terms of like deaths full of mystery, that's kind of a good sort of topic.
Because that was
on Diana,
a big conspiracy, wasn't it?
It was and is,
which was alleged that the queen took care of it.
Yeah, there's lots of different potential reasons, shagging a foreigner, blah blah blah.
I mean, she didn't do it. Like, it wasn't her that she did. Like, if the current king would have looked after her, that wouldn't have happened.
If Prince Charles wasn't himself, then yeah.
She wanted to make it work. He didn't want to make it work.
Yeah, he was too busy cheating and probably going with his brother to Epstein parties. Which brings us back to perfectly executed segue.
Do you think?
Possibly. I'm just saying, you've got a brother. Have you ever invited your brother to a party? Mine did. I have.
I have never invited my brother to a random island.
I didn't say to Jeffrey Epstein's party. I just meant a party. Like, your mate's got a house free, so...
No, that didn't happen. He's older than me.
Oh, right. So you were just following him like, hey, can I come in and get some booze?
No, he did get me drunk for the first time.
Oh, that's what a big brother is for, He's supposed to just like fuck with your little brother and get him like really hammered. And then what laugh as he like
put me to
himself.
bed. No, because he needed to put me to bed because he wanted to continue the party with us at hours. Just gave me the bottle of Coke with vodka.
Sip this until you fall asleep.
If you are listening to this, I do remember this, my brother.
You think you can hide from the truth forever.
Yeah, you think I was drunk.
You think I was that drunk? I remember everything.
Yet I remember, so.
And it's coming in the next drop of the Epstein files.
No, it doesn't.
This is kind of what like triggered this whole like rabbit hole for me though, because the Epstein shit is literally everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
People from like all over the globe, all certain like industry sectors, every sort of government, everyone had like an Epstein guy in it, at least one. It's actually fucking maddening.
Do you remember when the sort of Epstein thing first came out was on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
That's when mass population started hearing about Epstein. Because Netflix did that thing. And it was pretty bad, like all the allegations. He got sent into, but now if you look back at it, that was just like
that's just a warm up.
the sort of iceberg.
Yeah,
sort of, that was like just the peak. Like whatever they said he did there.
Yeah, it just goes down and down
and
down.
worse and worse. And then I'm like, how is he making money? Yeah, he's just cheating people out of money.
Just blackmailing people.
Exactly, blackmail. That was the word I was thinking of.
Also cheating people out of money, apparently. Lots of very, very dodgy, shady tax shit. All kinds of stuff. But yeah, there's a couple of people I didn't expect to be on the list. Turned out to be very much on the list and influential in very specific decisions that you would not expect. For example, Jeffrey Epstein was quite close friends with a fellow called Bobby Kotick. Are you familiar with him?
Sounds familiar.
He is the CEO or former CEO of Activision Blizzard.
Yep, that's why he convinced him to do microtransactions.
Yes, he convinced Bobby Kotick to put microtransactions in Overwatch, specifically loot boxes, which is...
why wouldn't you get kids addicted to gambling from a young age? Because that's never a bad thing. But funny enough, they weren't the first ones that did it. Counter-Strike did it first.
True, Counter-Strike did it first, but Counter-Strike is run by Valve, who are like a faceless dragon made of money. That's kind of...
which is Steam. And...
Yeah, I mean, they've basically monopolized digital distribution of games, which is kind of insane.
When you as a company are so rich that you are able to just do discounts on all the games.
Yeah, like...
twice a year or 3 times a year, and then...
It's like, randomly 90% off. Guess what? Fuck you. It's gone in 2 days, but have it. Like, okay, fine.
Well, they do give free games now away as well.
True, free to play.
Not free to play, just normal games, but that are quite crap. Because you always see articles. At least in my news feed, always get, Valve is doing discounts, or take this 5 free games this month, and I'm like, oh cool, 5 free games, oh cool, they're shit.
Oh, now they're bad knockoff mobile games.
I do not want to play these games. Funny enough, like there's this dude on YouTube, can't remember his name, but I watch him sometimes. He's all into Soul-like games, right?
Yeah.
He picks the worst rated Soul-like games on Steam and he plays them.
Oh, excellent.
And he's like, I'm not having fun with this. Why am I doing this? He does like 2-hour videos. So he puts the time into that videos. He does 2-hour videos of this.
Isn't that just long enough so that you can't refund it on Steam? 2 hours of play?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, God.
But
sucks.
They changed that rule now. You can't just ask for a refund.
I did on Worms when Worms didn't work properly on my PC.
No, it's... They change it slightly. There's other criteria that they might be refusing it for now. So it's like
fucking Steam. Like, someone should come along and compete in the same market.
They got sued, right? Well, I can't remember who's suing them because they're a monopoly.
Yeah,
they're not a monopoly though.
Technically, they're not. Like legally,
no, they're not a monopoly. There's other platform out there. They're just really bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you have Epic Games Store, which kind of sells the same thing.
Yeah,
but nobody goes to Epic Games Store because they're not good.
Yeah, they're not brilliant, and the front end shit and stuff doesn't work.
So that's why people go on Steam and they're like, "Oh, you're a monopoly. You don't give enough space to everybody else. Everybody else should,
stop shitting themselves.
Just stop being shit. Yeah. How about that? And then you're not the monopoly anymore.
Yeah, good old games are still good. I mean, if you're looking for weird shit that you can't find on Steam, good old games is usually a good place to go.
Oh yeah, isn't it that one that you might get a key or you might not get a key from?
Oh no, you always get a key. It's just whether it'll work or not. It's a bit fucking sketch.
That's gambling, Billy.
Kind of is. But yeah, basically. You're wondering where the evil spread of loot boxes and in-game gambling, came from in the 2010s. It was Jeffrey Epstein's idea, and I'm not even making that up. That's kind of insane.
It's in the list, wasn't it?
Yeah. Also, influence he had on. He also met with the 4chan guy, the guy who created and ran 4chan.
Yay.
4chan, as if people don't know, is the anonymous posting board that's like a haven for Nazis. Lolicon enthusiasts, as we should call them. Lots and lots of people you wouldn't want to associate with in real life, so they live on 4chan.
Yeah, they do.
And it was The idea to create what was called a containment board for the Nazis, as in poll, not r/, 4chan/politics. The politics board was created at the suggestion of Jeffrey Epstein and immediately got filled with, neo-Nazis.
But you have to put them somewhere.
Well, that was the logic at the time. The problem was that then it just sort of gave them a place to talk to each other, then fester, and then expand out and do everything else that they did. All those psyops they did on Twitter and things like that.
Yeah.
Google Project Prideful, it's a whole thing. Basically, a bunch of people on 4chan decided to send out a bunch of misinformation. It got a lot of people in trouble. A lot of people hurt, I should say.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about that. That's a whole other podcast unto itself. We can't get distracted with literally everything that Epstein was doing, beside the fact that he was involved with several large companies in Dubai, quite a lot of the sort of French cabinet in the 90s, Slovakian foreign minister, the Norwegian prime minister at one point. Literally every country, every field, music, science, media, it's all fucking everywhere. Everyone at some level, there's some guy involved with Epstein somewhere.
Yeah, which it's insane for one person to be that charismatic and that powerful. I'm just saying the level of
charismatic is perhaps the wrong word.
But how else you gonna be able to convince people of things? How else? Yeah, I get it. You're gonna blackmail them, right? Because you're gonna offer them something that they're gonna find cool, and then you blackmail them. But to get to that point, you need to have a level of charisma, a level of ingenuity,
ingenuity.
Thanks. That word's hard. To actually get people to that point, right? Because he didn't start off having that much money and that much influence. He had to work on that.
Well,
right?
He started off as a Mossad agent. Fun fact, he was trained in the Israeli CIA.
Oh, great.
Yeah, documents have proved that. It's like, oh no. But you're raising a good point. And it's not, I think it's a bit like professional poker playing, right?
Yeah.
So you're Jeffrey Epstein. You have access to infinite, filthy, taboo desires that rich people want.
Yeah.
How do you approach them and let you know that that's what you're selling without them thinking this guy's a cop and this is a sting?
Yeah.
So it's a poker play. I've got these cards in my hand. You don't know which cards I have in my hand, but I'm going to pretend I have the cards you want me to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was watching, just randomly this morning, I was watching Victoria Coren Mitchell. Don't know if you've ever seen her on TV on panel shows and stuff.
No, probably not.
She did a bunch of game shows, but she's a world-class poker player.
Okay.
She does large £1 million+ tournaments, that kind of shit.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up because I'm curious.
Oh, she's got quite a lot of really big videos of just compilations of her just reading her opponents, and she'll ask them questions at the poker table. She's like, wait, why have you done that? And then she'll look at their reaction and just study them, and then somehow manage to make exactly the right call. She can tell if they're, how strong they think their hand is.
Okay.
And how weak they think her hand is.
Okay.
So somehow she, through some sort of instinct or sort of interpersonal ability, she's able to guess when they're bluffing and when they're not. And I think Epstein had something similar. He was able to tell when someone was, looking for something that he might have. And he was able to sort of guess and bluff his way into those sort of relationships with people. It's just and then as soon as he's got you on the island, then you're fucked.
No, because you're done. Weren't there notes there that he was paying so much for cameras to be put into shirt
every room.
buttons?
Yeah, little tiny ring cameras. Yeah.
I think the shirt button camera was for some Chinese deputy. No, not deputy.
Chinese official state guy.
Yeah. So,
that would make sense. I mean,
but the Chinese wouldn't care.
No, the Chinese have not. To be fair, besides America, China is the only person who's not prosecuting anyone at the moment, and we don't know why yet. Give it time. I'm sure something will come out.
What, you think Winnie the Pooh will come out being on the list?
Not Winnie the Pooh himself, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a former foreign minister of China, a former ambassador, maybe a couple of Chinese, big. Tech guys, maybe. The tech guys are all over the Epstein files, man, so I wouldn't be surprised if foreign tech guys are as well.
Fair enough.
But yeah, well, we're not going to talk all about the Epstein files, though, this week, because it actually, looking at all of this stuff, it kind of made me, nostalgic a bit for a time when conspiracies were fun,
Define fun, Billy.
Well,
I don't think we will have the same notion of fun.
Okay, when I say fun, I don't mean fun because it does involve, celebrities dying and things, lots of people being sad about it, but it didn't have, long-reaching consequences that stretch out across everything that governs our lives,
Okay, fair enough.
It's like...
That's still not fun.
Like our first topic, for example, Michael Jackson. Do you remember the day that Michael Jackson died?
Vaguely. I remember the news article.
I remember learning from it via SMS text message on my brick phone, which I had at the time, and it was just a joke about Michael Jackson being dead. That's how I learned.
Well, he wasn't a joke.
No, of course it wasn't. He was actually... I was like, wait, that joke only makes sense if he's dead. It was like, yeah, he died, yesterday. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Because before that, people forget... Right before he died, there was fucking billboard ads, there was TV ads everywhere. It was the This Is It tour. Like, it was going to happen, it was going to start in London, and it was going to... And this whole thing...
Because he was about to retire, right? If I remember correctly.
He said it was going to... I think said it was going to be his last tour, but it was going to be, his biggest effort he could, and then he was going to disappear from music or disappear from public life because... Let's be honest, it probably wasn't very fun being Michael Jackson. He was a very, very unwell man, and he had a lot of allegations of various impropriety behavior.
Well, that's also because, his parents messed him up.
Yeah, his parents were, fucked up people who fucked him up in turn, and his entire family.
His voice, say whatever you like about Michael Jackson, say whatever you like about the allegations about Michael Jackson and all that, say whatever you like about his life. But his voice was phenomenal.
His voice was amazing, even as a little kid.
He was an amazing showman.
He was very, very good at dancing.
If you sort of, I know it's wrong to say separate the art from the artist because it's
impossible,
really. Because art is the direct personality explained through music or whatever. But what I'm saying is, if the last allegations wouldn't come out about him, I would have probably been like, oh yeah, I'm actually a Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah, that's the thing. People forget, after he died, everyone was, rushing to eulogize him as a great musician and blah, 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 blah. And everyone sort of forgot that, these are the same newspapers who were calling him a pedophile.
the same guy that almost dropped his kid off a balcony.
Yeah, and the same media people who were, saying, oh my god, he's a filthy, sick, disgusting pervert who dangles babies out of windows. They literally turned around the next day and was like, so sad, Michael Jackson is dead.
Yeah,
oh my
but
god.
that sells newspapers, Billy.
I know.
It's all about how can you sell it. You can sell him as, the horrible human being, and then when he dies, he's like, no, actually, he wasn't that bad. We actually liked him. Which is BS.
When Kanye West was doing one of his many Hitlerite podcast appearances and ranting about how much he hated Jewish people, he said that the media was trying to Michael Jackson him, with the conspiracy idea being, oh well, he was so troubled, but we miss him so much, but we loved his music though. And that's the direct quote from Kanye, which he thought was going to happen to him. They thought. So he believed, at least, that Michael Jackson was murdered. And I'm going to kind of explain to you why that is, because a lot of stuff about his death was really, really fucked up and really, really strange and just causes more questions than it answers. So I'm going to go through the official story, the official sort of list of, what happened, what we think, what is the, media narrative. And then we're going to look at all the issues that people have drawn with it. Most specifically, people either think that Michael Jackson either faked his own death or he was murdered. Of the two sort of sides of the conspiracy, I would say the murdered one is bigger because it just makes more sense.
Yeah, because he's probably on an island somewhere. not that kind of island. with
you can't even say island now without
you can't use that term. It's on an island.
How do you fuck up?
Billy, technically, we're on an island.
Oh God, we're all susceptible, man. Everyone's on an island. But yeah, so the official story is Michael Jackson on the 25th of June 2009 died from a drug overdose administered by a careless doctor. Now, who was the careless doctor? His name was Conrad Murray. He was sort of Michael Jackson's personal physician for several years. At the time, he was basically sort of in the house with Michael, which is suspicious by itself. Okay, so Michael Jackson had kind of a famous prescription drug problem.
Yeah.
Colin Murray was kind of his supplier, basically.
It's nice when you're rich enough, you can say my drug dealer, but you also say my personal physician.
My personal physician, who now lives in my house and administers drugs to me specifically when I want them.
So, to be so rich to say your drug dealer is actually your personal physician.
He's just living down in your little annex. He's just living next door.
Like I'll just call Steve.
Yeah, I'll just call Steve up. Like, Steve, I can't sleep.
Steve, can I have the good stuff today?
Give me the shit. Apparently, that's what happened with Michael Jackson on the day that he died. He tried to go to bed. He could not go to bed. He was not sleeping. So he called downstairs to his personal physician who lived there and said, can I have some more milk? Apparently, that was his nickname for propofol. Propofol. Which is... Propofol.
Propofol?
What, you're just saying
I'm
things.
just saying
things. Fuck you. I'm not super familiar with this drug, if I'm honest. I'm familiar with a lot of the other
stuff. I'm happy
stuff.
to hear that.
Yeah. Well, it's not one that I've seen used in like mental health settings, so I'm not super familiar with it.
Okay.
He was on a bunch of stuff that was used in mental health settings, which is really, really bad because it was basically all benzos. It's like lorazepam was the main one.
Yeah.
That's, sort of a common, here, you're really, really agitated for reasons that are beyond your control. Here, have some Loraz, chill out, you'll feel better in about 2 hours. Fairly effective drug, works quite quickly. What works even faster is midazolam, which he was also taking.
Are you not meant to take both of them at the same time?
Well, both of them have the same sort of effects, so both of them have the potential to stop your heart working.
Oh. See, here's a question. I'm gonna go off topic.
Yes, I expect that.
You did you? Okay, cool. You wrote that in the script.
Yes, I was like, Andre going off topic here.
Okay, so imagine me being super rich.
Yes.
And if I would have had psychological issues,
yes,
being super rich.
I don't think there's a super rich person who doesn't have those.
Therapy. That's all I'm gonna say. You're super rich already, right? I can do therapy 3 times a week.
I have a theory about why this doesn't work, okay?
Why wouldn't it work? Because you can pay for the most expensive person in the said country you live to look after you and actually try to sort you out.
I think it's part of the celebrity culture around someone who is as big and as successful as Michael Jackson, because when you're that big and that famous and that important, you're a cultural icon, you have been for 20 years, that means anyone who's associated with you can get some of that money. And that means you get surrounded by yes men. Yes men, by their nature, are lying to you.
Oh, fair.
So after a while of being... Because I think this happened to Kanye as well, to a certain extent, because he surrounded himself with, yes men as well.
Because they're all like, how can I get some of this money?
Yeah, like, oh, no, don't worry about it, man. You can do this. Anything you do, yeah, it's a great idea, Muhammad Ali, famous boxer, famous civil rights figure, loud, brash guy, but he had an entourage of people who, jizzed him up and, said, you can do this, Ali, even though he was, fighting past the point where he had Parkinson's,
Yeah. I get, okay, that's fair.
But that kind of happens to a lot of celebrities.
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Because, I always look at it and I'm like, dude, just get a therapist.
Yeah.
It's so easy. You're already filthy rich. You don't have to go to the NHS to get their free therapy.
Yeah, the one that takes 2 years to get to.
And you're probably already done by that point.
Yeah.
So it's like... You can afford therapy. Go to therapy.
But how do you trust people when you've surrounded yourself with yes men for 20 fucking years? I mean, Michael Jackson, man, his own family were
that person that is a therapist, and if you get the best in their field, they're probably been doing it for 20 odd years.
Yeah.
So they went to school. They had the experience. They're probably not gonna lie to you.
You would think, right? But the thing is, you can. I mean, look up what happened to Brian Wilson with his psychiatrist, Dr. Landy. Dr. Landy basically, used his therapy sessions with Brian to sort of convince him that he wasn't safe to look after himself. And then he used that to take control of all of Brian Wilson's legal affairs and money. He was under a conservatorship for 10 years.
Up,
it is, man. That's the problem with especially in America where it's a for-profit industry. Psychiatry and psychology is something that rich people just sort of play with. They just sort of pay people to come tell them things that they want to hear. It turns into a really messed up situation very quickly. And sorting out what a good therapist is from a bad one, from their perspective, I probably wouldn't be able to fucking do it, What if I had that much money and that many, yes people and, it would, anyone who's ever been to, Hollywood therapy can attest to this. Sometimes they're just trying to big you up and sometimes they're just trying to string you out for more money. You know?
Well, I'll think for a solution by the end of the episode.
I'm sure you'll find one, my dude, but I've never been able to find one personally. But
anyway, going back
to
sorry.
the death of Michael Jackson, which is what we were actually talking about. So yeah, Conrad Murray, doctor living with Michael Jackson, goes and injects him several times at Michael Jackson's request, allegedly, with propofol. I don't know why Colin Murray did the next section of things that he did, but apparently what he says happened was that he went to the bathroom after doing this, and then 2 minutes later came back, saw that Michael had no pulse and was not breathing. So he starts CPR. Have you ever taken a CPR course? You've taken a first aid course, yeah. What's the first thing you do when you see someone collapse on the floor and you're worried about their health?
You put them on their side, you put them in the recovery position, you check for breathing, and you start calling the ambulance.
That last bit, call an ambulance, that is what Dr. Colin Murray did not do.
No, because you just put it on speed dial, you put them in a recovery position, check for their pulse,
wait for them to answer, then you start
talking.
If
they don't answer, you turn them around and you start CPR. But the thing is like, first thing you do, you literally go on your phone, speed dial it, put it on speaker, and then you can do everything else. Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of, just makes sense as a simple, like, we are not doctors. We are understanding of this. Dr. Colin Murray was not. He did not call 911.
Wait, what kind of doctor was he?
He was a physician. He was he was legally allowed to prescribe medication. So
I would maybe had a doctorate in literature.
No. He's not a philosophy doctor. He was a genuine medical doctor. So,
sorry, I just needed to ask.
Yeah.
Just in case he was, and then I had questions for Michael, but he can't answer.
Yeah, it'd be amazing if a doctor of philosophy and literature managed to go down and just I'll have 50,000 cocodamol, please.
What do you need them for? Reading books.
Doctor stuff. Don't worry about it.
Reading books. I need them. I need to feel the books.
I need to become the books. But yeah, he didn't call emergency services for an hour and a half, and security staff in the house were the ones who called 911, not him. Even though he was there with the body trying to revive him, allegedly. Also, CPR, you usually need a flat surface. Someone needs to be lying.
He was doing CPR on a bed?
Yep. That's rookie mistake, man. That's a very, very rookie
there's
mistake.
No give.
There's no, you can't get the chest to compress properly. You need to push twice as hard.
Did he break any ribs? Wait, did he break any ribs?
Not that I remember seeing on the.
Because if you didn't break at least one rib, you're not doing it right. I'm sorry to say it, but that's how the body works. Right?
Yeah, you're not trying hard enough if you're not breaking their ribs a little bit.
Yeah.
You kind of have to really shove. Even on those fake dummies they give you, it's still the force.
It's a lot of force. There's more force than anybody can, when you go into it, it's this is hard.
Yeah, you think, it's only 30 seconds. It's not going to be that long. And then by the end, your shoulder's and it's okay, right. Focusing on your technique is difficult at that point. But yeah, he didn't call the emergency services, but he did make a bunch of private phone calls to people unknown, to a bunch of unknown numbers. So in the hour and a half between Michael Jackson allegedly, stopping breathing and the emergency services arrived, the doctor who was there with him the whole time doing CPR on a bed for some fucking reason, made a bunch of private phone calls that no one's been able to sort of determine the nature.
You have to call Mary to clear your browser history.
Just literally
I think
looking up how to kill Michael Jackson.com.
Yeah, I think that's how it worked. Mary, you need to clear my browser. It's well, I'm busy right now, Mary. Listen to me, Mary. Clear my browser history. But I'm just in the bath. I don't care. Just get out. Just my browser history. Go back to bed.
Just burn the computer if you can.
Yeah, I don't care. Just
chuck the computer in the bath.
Take the computer with you in the bath. Exactly. It will be fine.
That way,
I'm a doctor. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
I used to know this medical student called John, and every time he would say anything or suggest anything, he'd just trust me, I'm almost a doctor.
Wow, and that gives me a lot of confidence.
Yeah, the guy was kind of a douche, but so all of this stuff naturally is it's kind of like putting honey on a stick in front of a bunch of really hungry bears. You know? It's going to be any story with this doctor is fucked up this many times. It's going to be rife with conspiracy bullshit.
Of course.
So the speculation becomes, Who paid him to do this? Was it the music industry? Everyone likes to accuse the music industry of doing this. Michael Jackson had a lot of like legal problems back and forth with lots of his labels and shit.
Yeah, because he did buy quite a bit.
He did. He also bought like the Beatles copyrights for some fucking reason and then sold them to Sony. I don't.
No, because probably somebody convinced him to do it.
I think he was whacked out of his mind on a bunch of prescription painkillers and didn't really
I wouldn't
know
have
what he was
sold it
doing.
to Sony, man. I would have held on to that crap.
Yeah,
Because that crap makes you money just for existing.
It does indeed. The problem is he wouldn't live long enough to see any of it. So I think he bought and sold like the Beatles copyrights in like 2007. By 2009, he was gone. So maybe he, that's the speculation. Did he know he was on the way out? Did he know that someone was looking for, Dr. Conrad Murray went to prison for 2 years, only 2 years, for the involuntary manslaughter of Michael Jackson. So 2 years for that. The fucking up this badly, not calling the ambulance, not doing CPR correctly, literally drugging him to death, despite your best, what you know as a doctor, and this being a lethal dose. All of it looks like foul play.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't like foul play, it's still suspicious as fuck. And whenever there's like a little gap like this, that's when conspiracy numbers come in.
Here's my other theory to that, right? He's a doctor. He could have done a better job of covering his tracks.
He could have.
So I'm going more on the route of he's a complete imbecile. And then he panicked and he called random people, what do? I think I killed Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And then he had the whole conversation with Mary about the browser history because it's going to happen, right?
He doesn't want to get caught.
And then he remember he had the pizza coming, so he had to cancel that order because obviously you can't be like just stuffing your face when the police gets in. Okay, and then he called the pharmacy and be like, sorry, my best client just died, so I don't need that 1,000 milligrams or whatever.
I need to cancel like 6 months worth of orders.
And then all of a sudden the security staff comes in and they're like, what are you doing? Let's call the ambulance. And he's like, yeah, let me just finish a phone call.
Yeah. No, the anchovy one. No, I don't need that anymore. No, it's fine. He's dead. Goodbye.
Okay. And that's how they ended up, an hour and a half. I can see that, how he gets away.
I personally can't. But
yeah,
he did.
No, like that was a joke. Anybody took me serious for a second.
I know, but funnily enough, he did write a book in 2016 dictating, funnily enough, it was called This Is It. I'm
looking away and I'm being angry.
Yeah, you should be. He spends most of the book basically making shit up to make himself look better. He talks about how he treated Mother Teresa at one point before she was famous. Allegedly. I don't fucking know. I don't really care. Mother Teresa wasn't as nice as people say she was.
I don't know. I know nothing about Mother Teresa.
Nobody does, except she's a nice old lady, and that's kind of what he was banking on. But he said, I knew Mother Teresa before she was cool. And it's like, dude.
Nobody cares.
Dude, you also killed Michael Jackson. Fuck you.
So wait, is he still out now?
He's out now. Yeah, I mean, he's old as fuck, but he's he's out. He was sentenced to 4 years. He did like 1 year, 11 months. Not really.
Wow.
Yeah.
His lawyers are great.
His lawyers must be the fucking best. He must have made so much money off Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he's like he probably still charged it to his credit card.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't even know how you pay for shit inside a prison, but he obviously, pulled some stringers and pulled some
stringers.
Yeah, he probably did actually. Yeah, like stringer bell types. But from like the whole, is there potentially a murder involved with this like doctor doing it deliberately? From there, every other conspiracy you want can be basically attached onto it. Did you know in 1993, Michael Jackson recorded a song called Don't Cry Palestine, I think it was called.
Really? Did he actually?
Yeah, he did. And a month later was the first accusation of him being inappropriate with a child.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that actually real or is that the conspiracy?
The song's real. Sony admits that it's real. It was never released, but it's been recorded apparently. So the speculation from that obviously becomes
nowadays
was all of the allegations against Michael Jackson set up because he was anti-Israel? I don't think that's necessarily got some evidence.
You're right, man. It's the Jewish man, Hollywood. It's run by no, dude, that's fucking stupid.
I know. I've seen people.
I tried to go into that personality, and I'm like, I'm gonna say something really bad. So
exactly. You're gonna say something that's gonna get clipped out of context if you keep doing that, because I doubt it was that. To be honest, one song saying, Palestinian children shouldn't get shot in the 90s. it wasn't even...
I mean, they're not wrong, though.
It's not a bad song, but, anyway, stupid conspiracies aside, I could definitely see why people think he was murdered. I will say that. Because this incompetence from any sort of, like, licensed physician is fucking... It's almost too much to believe, you know?
Was he ever on Epstein's island?
Good. Michael Jackson was in a photograph of Epstein. Funnily enough.
The doctor.
The doctor was not, as far as I'm aware. I imagine if he is, then we'll find out very soon.
Well, let's hope so.
Watch this space, guys. Watch this space. You'd be surprised how late, much later these things can happen. Speaking of stuff coming up again recently, the next celebrity conspiracy that used to be a lot of fun, specifically for me when I was a teenager.
Okay. Again, defines fun, Billy.
Well, fun to think about and speculate on with your mates while smoking weed. That's basically what I mean.
Fair enough. That's.
I'm talking about Kurt Cobain.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
We actually talked about Kurt Cobain in the pub the other day, didn't we?
We did, yeah. And funnily enough, my beautiful and beloved partner sent me a 7-minute sort of news clip that came out very, very recently, talking with someone who's wanting to reopen the case again for like the 15th fucking time.
I mean...
Just going into this, like...
Yeah, you go on.
Just going into this, like, dude, like, because I remember watching so many straight-to-DVD documentaries when I was, like, 13, 14. I was obsessed with this one. Like, the Kurt Cobain didn't kill himself conspiracy. I thought Courtney Love was definitely on the hook for it. I watched so many documentaries, and when I look back at them now, I'm like, oh, wait, this is just, like, shit right-wing YouTube before YouTube.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Yeah, because you didn't have a label on that. Because everything that came straight to DVD, or like, oh, dude, somebody paid for this to go to DVD, so that means...
It must be official, right?
It should be official, because why would right-wingers pay for anything to just go straight there? You know what I mean? Like, it has to be true.
Yeah, and I remember there was a conversation with... They found the man who allegedly murdered Kurt Cobain, right? And they found the guy that Courtney used to do it or something.
Okay.
And he just looked straight into the camera as like, you know what the great thing is? I will never be charged with the murder of Kurt Cobain or El Duce, a guy who was also in the music scene who died after saying something about Kurt Cobain. So it's this whole conspiracy thing comes to a head. And then I look at it when I'm like, an adult, and I go, that guy's fucking lying. That's the most obvious lie in the world.
Yeah.
He's just like trying to make himself sound cool. I can fucking tell.
Yeah. And he's like, see, I'm going to make money from somewhere.
Yeah, he's like, this is my like moment of fame, and I'm going to be like infamous for the guy who killed Kurt Cobain with his martial arts skill or some shit. Like, the guy...
Didn't he off himself with a shotgun?
Yeah, but apparently he used his elite martial arts skill to subdue Kurt Cobain, who's like 5'4" and weighs like, 100 pounds. Like, I'm pretty sure I could subdue Kurt Cobain if I wanted to.
I'm pretty sure Gas the Wind can subdue Kurt.
Yeah. The guy was like 90% heroin at that point. So, it would just be like, oh, look, some heroin. And just like, ha-ha!
You're done.
Just, he's gone, kidnapped. But this, out of this swirl of documentary bullshit, I genuinely did sort of absorb it as a 13-year-old. It's like, yeah, she definitely did it. It was definitely like a murder, yeah. Looking back at it, there's a whole bunch of really sussy shit. There really is.
Okay, go on.
So here's like the official story. I mean, everyone knows about Kurt Cobain, so everyone knows he had long-standing issues with heroin, depression, accidental overdoses. This is like part of just who he was at that point.
Yeah.
If his like all the friends and bandmates were around, it was like, yeah, he basically we were worried he was going to kill himself because we were, he was just depressed all the time. He was miserable. He would isolate himself.
Therapist. That was the whole situation would be fixed with the therapist.
Yeah, it's like that Family Guy cutaway skit where it's like, what if Kurt Cobain had quit? Remember, kids, don't do drugs. It's like, Kurt, we're really excited about your 14th album.
Oh, maybe. You never know what he could have been.
It's true, man. I think what would probably have happened is he would probably have ended up like a sort of singer-songwriter type, Like,
yeah, that's fine, but
like
he would have had a life. He probably would have had better stuff than Kanye West.
Yeah.
Like, quite genuinely, even though Kanye West's against separating art from the artist, I personally don't like Kanye West's stuff.
There's a Kanye song for everybody.
But there's like 90% of the world that really loved his music.
Yeah.
But therapist, Kenya. Just get yourself a therapist, dude.
Lithium.
Stay on those meds.
Stop throwing them away.
Exactly. It's so simple. Also,
apparently he's back on his meds now.
Also, divorce that bitch you're married to.
The one he married after divorcing the other one, because
no, isn't he still married to the Kardashian woman?
No, they're not married. I think they divorced. But
oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
I mean they're both rich, so who cares? But it doesn't really matter.
Because I don't think she helped you. Yeah,
whatever.
Go on.
We're not talking about Kanye. He's still alive. We're talking about the dead guy.
Okay.
So
For now.
The official story that is following an overdose in Rome after a gig. He basically got sort of bullied into going to rehab. He left that rehab basically the very next day on April 1st by climbing over a 6-foot wall. Apparently, people mention that as if it's like, oh well, how did he magic his way out over the 6-foot wall? I mean, yeah, okay, he was 5'4", but he's a skinny guy. He can scramble up things.
I think he could have pulled himself up.
Yeah. He's he's not useless. He might be addicted to heroin, but he's not like physically frail at this point. He went and bought some shotgun shells for a shotgun that was bought for him by a friend. He was worried, allegedly, that the shotgun would not be sold to him because of all the red flags and shit. Like him obviously going to kill himself.
Obviously, why would you sell somebody on heroin a shotgun?
That guy.
There's a reason.
That's one of the things that has made this conspiracy last as long as it has is the actions of Dylan Carson, the man who gave him the shotgun, because he was like a heroin guy as well. He knew Kurt was going through some shit, but he still gave him all this stuff, and like basically facilitated him harming himself.
I wonder how that conversation went down. Mate, I need a shotgun. They wouldn't say, man, dude, I need a shotgun.
Dude, that's a shotgun.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is my 15th pack of cigarettes today.
Can I get a shotgun? They don't want to sell me a shotgun. Can you get me a shotgun? He's like, they're not gonna sell me a shotgun. I know a guy. You know a guy? Can I buy a guy? No, he's not gonna sell to you because he doesn't know you. And also you're Kurt Cobain, and everybody knows you're Disturbed. I'll get you a shotgun.
Yeah, he
just brought him. Like, how did that conversation went down?
I don't honestly know.
It was just a text message. Shotgun. Cool.
It's the 90s. There was no text.
Fair.
Maybe a pager? I guess.
CD.
Well, oh god. Beep, 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 beep.
That was your pager.
Yeah. Anyway, pager ringtones aside, apparently the reason that Kurt wanted and bought shotgun shells as well as the shotgun was because his house had been broken into, allegedly. I don't think there was any...
Pay for security, you're Kurt Cobain, you're rich.
Yeah, but he also hated people. He didn't want to be around people, so...
Paid him to stay outside. Dude, I have all the solutions, just hit me.
Also, his wife was looking for him and he didn't want her to know where he was, so
pay the security not to let the wife pass. Dude, come on.
Yeah. Whatever, he was decided at one point to just take an absolute bomb amount of heroin, and on the 5th of April he allegedly died. On the 8th is when they found him, so 3 days, big gap. Yeah, he probably stank by that point.
Dude, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
Just not think about it.
On the 8th, this is fucking wild to me, all right? Because this is a line from the Wikipedia article I read that kind of went, wait, what? Because the guy who discovered him was a electricity guy who came in to fix something.
Okay. So wait a minute. Didn't he have a kid at this point?
Yeah. The kid was with Courtney at that point.
Yeah. Nobody actually cared for 3 days to message him to see what's up with him or where he is. Nobody actually knew where he was at that point. Because, you will tell someone you're going home. So you're like, cool, Kirk didn't say anything for 3 days. Maybe we should have looked into him 2 days ago.
Yeah. I mean, he did escape rehab, and they do notice when that happens, usually, If you run away from rehab.
I think he didn't kill himself, dude.
Well, let's put it this way. Courtney Love herself hired a private investigator to track him down. Apparently, the private investigator did not think to look at his house for whatever reason.
No, because people don't go to their houses when they're...
Fuck it, right. This is kind of what I mean about, there's so many gaps in the story that doesn't make any fucking sense. That's how the conspiracy seeps in, So, yeah, he was found on the 8th by an electricity guy who said he thought Kurt Cobain was sleeping until he got closer and realized there was blood everywhere. Until he saw blood coming out of his ear. Now, he shot himself in the face with a shotgun. Or rather, in the mouth with a shotgun.
Well, that was 3 days ago. It wouldn't be any blood coming out because the blood will be dry at that point.
Maybe it was dried blood coming out of his ear, but he also said like he looked like he was asleep. Now, I've never shot myself in the mouth with a shotgun personally. I probably wouldn't like I was
you could
asleep.
try that at least once, but
this is where, the story kind of gets all messy. So, because of the metric fuck ton of heroin that was in his system, like it was a very, very high amount, according to the toxicology reports. This is what the guy was saying on the recent guy who trying to reopen the case again.
Yeah.
His issue is, okay, there's so much heroin in his system, there is no chance that he would have been conscious enough to put the gun in his mouth. Basically.
It's called tolerance.
It is called tolerance, and he had a very, very large tolerance because he was, constantly overdosing on heroin. So that one's kind of a bit fishy. There's also like people who say, well, his arms weren't long enough to pull back to shoot himself with the shotgun. I don't really kind of buy that. The shotgun he used wasn't particularly, long, really. It wasn't like a double-barreled like hunting shotgun. It was like a regular standard issue American one.
Okay.
I haven't looked at his like arm measurements and shit, but there's a lot of stuff like that. I mean, he was a small guy, but he probably could have reached that trigger. The thing is, we don't know because the shotgun was not tested for prints until May. So he shot himself in April. They didn't test for prints on the gun until May for some reason. I don't know a lot about like fingerprint analysis.
They don't go away.
They shouldn't go away, but
somebody can wipe it down.
There's apparently a photo that was released of someone, like an FBI agent or someone, like some official, holding the shotgun, like properly, with gloves on. So they're probably wiping the prints off of it as they do that. Some reason, there was no, conclusive evidence of prints found on the trigger. Say, that could be a lot of things, But the private investigator who Courtney Love hired to find her husband after he checked out of rehab, then started turning around and accusing her of murdering him.
I mean, he was there for the bag of money, man. He probably saw an opportunity.
That's what I'm thinking. Because a lot of the stuff the guy says doesn't really make any sense.
Because you can write a book after that.
I was the private he did several times.
I didn't even know that. I'm just thinking
most
money.
predictable thing in the world. I was there for the death of celebrity. Buy my book.
Yeah, exactly. And people will buy that book. People
did. Many, many people. And built documentaries around that book. And I bought those documentaries. We're all infected, man. We're all part of the radiance here.
So what did this guy say then?
Well, the thing is, as like time goes on, it started off with him saying like, there's foul play here. He was taking too much heroin, too much heroin in his system for him to shoot himself. The handwriting on the suicide note, alleged suicide note, it changes at the end to look like it was adjusted to make it look more like a suicide note. I don't get the handwriting analysis shit with Kurt Cobain, to be honest, because his handwriting was fucked. Like, it was all over the place. If you ever read his journals, it's all just, like, scrawling insanity and mess. Like, he changes, like, handwriting styles seemingly for fun. I don't know why. But he's always been, like, a really messy writer, so I kind of scratched that one, like, pretty quick.
It's probably the level of heroin, right? So as you start writing, you have a little heroin in your blood, and then the more heroin you have, the different their handwriting is.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's one explanation.
I'm just starting a new conspiracy theory.
Dude, that people have already made that one. Trust me, I've seen it in a documentary somewhere. I can't remember which one. I've watched so many of these, man. You have no idea.
Yeah, Vicious did.
But he also, he also said that there was like a lack of DNA evidence pointing to Kurt Cobain shooting himself. I don't know what exactly he meant by that. I mean, it's like Kurt Cobain's DNA was obviously there because his body was. But I think what he means is there's no, DNA on the, of him holding the shotgun. I think that's what he was trying to say with that.
I don't know. I'm not a forensics guy, so...
Yeah, you need, several forensics degrees to pick through all this bullshit. And a lot of detectives all over the,
So what do you think, Billy?
Here's the thing. This guy who started most of this, Tom Grant, the PI, he seems to have a personal fucking hatred of Courtney Love. So
probably she didn't pay him. She's like, you didn't find him?
You didn't find him. He's dead now. I'm not fucking paying you.
What would I pay for something you didn't do?
Basically, yeah. So he's been on like a one-man war to prove that she killed him since like the 90s now. And I think after doing that for long enough, you probably go a bit insane and start mixing, getting high on your own supply,
Yeah, and then you're like thinking of new theories.
Yeah, just
Because if you're a PI, you're a little bit smart. You're smart enough, to see things connecting to other things.
Yeah,
So
but also
probably-
you can make connections where none exist. It's like
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. It's like he made his own connections at some point, as in made up his own connections.
yeah, like there's never been any evidence that Kurt was planning to divorce Courtney or like was cheating on her with like.
He was too busy doing heroin.
He was
man.
too busy
What?
out of his fucking mind to do any of that, man. Like divorce paperwork on heroin. Yeah. Good luck with that. There was also like rumors that she was upset with him for turning down the headline at Lollapalooza because that would have been $10 million. So
He had
basically,
enough money at that point, right?
that's the thing. Like $10 million is what he paid like the producer of In Utero. He had enough money to,
Yeah, money wasn't a thing.
And also, Courtney Love had a band called Hole, which was pretty famous. Like,
She actually had a band called Hole.
yeah, that was her band's name. They're not bad. They had some decent songs. It was kind of like she obviously got a lot more famous after his death, though, right? So
Yeah, 'cause-
of course everyone's speculating. Oh, well, she had motive. Like, yeah, but I don't think she knew she was going to get famous off this.
No, because that he was her money grab. He wouldn't have. She wouldn't have killed him.
Yeah, I mean, why stop the
Because he could have still gotten another 5 years out of him. Just make him make money and then just keep all the fortunes.
Yeah, like, because he was still recording. Even
Yeah,
though
he was still producing. He was still making things.
Yeah,
so.
they filmed a song in that year, like not too long before that, called "You Know You're Right," banging song on their greatest hits album.
So she wouldn't have done it. She could have still made another kid, make sure getting really, connected to it and get all of the money at the end.
It would have made much more sense from a even a selfish evil bitch perspective to keep him alive.
Yeah.
Because he could have just kept making albums. Maybe when the money ran out, then maybe
get a good insurance on that.
Yeah, like maybe when he releases his 7th album, it doesn't do very well, and then everyone's like, oh, Kurt Cobain fell off, he's not the same guy anymore, he's sold out or whatever. Then have him murdered.
Or maybe he was just about to get off the heroin. He was actually getting serious about getting off the heroin, and she was like, fuck, if he gets off the heroin, then he's gonna get serious, he's gonna realize how much of a bitch I am, and he's not gonna want to be with me, and fuck, he could take me for everything because I've been an actual bitch to him, and he can get proof about this, so let's just kill him.
Which is why he escaped rehab. And then, a week before all this.
Cool, fine.
You see how this could go on and on?
There's some holes in my theory, but give me a minute. I'll come up with something else.
We've got 10 minutes left, dude, and I want to talk about one more person first. Yes.
Cool.
So this one I didn't grow up with as much, but it's just as famous. And guess who it is?
No idea.
Tupac Shakur.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tupac. He's on an island. No, you can't say that.
No, he's a hologram now.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
I know. Don't even get me fucking started on the hologram shit. That's so disrespectful in some way. I don't know why. But so famously, Tupac was, as Chris Rock so eloquently put it, gunned down on the Las Vegas Strip outside a Mike Tyson fight. How many people do you need to be around for them to see some shit? Basically, Tupac was gunned down on the Las Vegas Strip after a Mike Tyson fight. And after getting into a fight, and this I did not know about until I started researching this, he also got into a fight with a member of the Crips gang in the lobby of the hotel of the Mike Tyson fight.
Was he a Blood?
I believe he was, yeah. Or he was affiliated with the Bloods. And I don't remember the entire Crips and Bloods drama, frankly. But
because I think Snoop Dogg is a Crip.
Yeah, that's the Crip side. Well, at least you said he was. I mean, I don't think Snoop Dogg was ever genuinely anything. He's Snoop Dogg, He just does what he wants.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised he's still alive. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean, all he really did was smoke weed a lot and be in really shit movies.
No, he was a Blood.
Oh, Snoop Dogg was a Blood. Or Tupac.
Tupac was a Blood.
That makes sense. Because he always wore the red, didn't he? So, yeah, no shit. I don't know enough about this to speculate on LA, gang politics. But, so, after the fight, he was driving with his label owner, Suge Knight of Death Row Records, the guy who still owns all the masters to this day. At 11:15, they were going to a place called Club 662. They pulled over to check out some nice honeys or whatever, some fly women or something.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
yeah,
check
go,
the
ladies. Are you
man.
going to come down
You
to
can't
the
go
club
to the
with
club
me?
without the honeys?
Yeah, you're going to jump in the back of the Cadillac. Let's go. Whilst they were doing that, a white four-door Cadillac pulled up. The guy in the back of the car opened the window, shot Tupac 4 times, hitting him in the lung and the leg. The Suge Knight, who was on the other side of him, also got injured from deflections from the bullet. Suge Knight drives off, screaming around the corner, with his friend bleeding out next to him. They take him to the hospital. He lasts for 6 days, but while they're trying to do surgery on him to, like, you know, fix his lung, he ruptures and dies in the hospital there. So how do they fuck this up in terms of the investigation when so many people were there seeing it? I don't honestly know, but at the time it was quite common to have Cadillacs with blacked out windows. So it would have to be a very specific angle to see see the face of the person that was happening. Because Suge Knight said that he couldn't see the guy's face. They drove off too quick. Because he just started driving as soon as he heard the gunshot, didn't realize that Tupac was hurt until, like, he got round the corner and away from them. So when he looked over, he was like, shit, my friend's, like, bleeding out here, need to go to the hospital, didn't catch a good view of the guy who shot him. A bunch of people were around there. They said it happened so quickly, they didn't really know who'd shot him either. Eventually, a guy was questioned. His name was Orlando Caesar, something like that. Something Orlando. And he was... a member of the Crips, so they think Orlando Anderson, something like that, and he was the guy who got into a fight with Tupac earlier in the day. So he was prime suspect, but he was eventually acquitted of no wrongdoing. When we say no wrongdoing, we'll come back to that in a bit.
Okay.
Because no one was arrested for it, and there was no, like, you know, like, nobody knows who did it. Everyone started speculating immediately about Suge Knight, the guy who was with him in the car that day.
Well, he died, didn't he?
No, he got hit. He got hurt.
But he didn't die, okay.
But he didn't die. What he was, though, there was a lot of rumors circulating around at the time, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but Suge Knight was a fucking terrible record manager. He was like a terrible label guy.
Okay.
He owed people at that time about $104 million in royalties that he hadn't paid them. That's across, like, all of his artists. And that includes Pac, I think, as well.
Oh, so they're like, I'd rather get him done with.
Yeah, rather than pay him all the money. And then I still own his masters, so I can just live off this for the rest of my life, man. You know, that was... Because Suge Knight kind of did.
That's a good fucking theory, though.
It is. It makes a lot of sense from a financial perspective. Like, oh, well, I owe this guy lots of money. I'll have him offed, and then I can live off of his legacy. Sounds like a sweet deal for someone who's, you know, not very good at running the music industry, Suge Knight. He's just a problematic guy in general, is Suge Knight. He's very, very easy to dislike because he's a bastard.
So automatically you'll attach conspiracy theories to him.
Well, it's kind of like the Courtney Love thing, you know, running, like, the legacy of a legend into the ground will make you very unpopular, you know?
Yeah.
Because Courtney Love still gets paid for all those Nirvana t-shirts, and I'm pretty sure Suge Knight gets, like, paid every time they release, like, oh, we found 10 more Tupac songs from Beyond the Grave that he never put out, you know?
So he just remakes them.
Yeah, he's been doing that for, like, a long time. Death Row Records basically is just, like, Tupac's masters, and that's it now. You know, it used to be quite a big enterprise. Because he didn't pay people, it's not anymore. And as such...
Because people will not come to you to record your shit. But
no, of course not. And people get pissed off at you, and then he's like, oh, yeah, you probably did have something to do with that, you know? Even though he was injured in the car. And that's, I think, you know, where this sort of conspiracy theory falls apart, right? Because let's say that you, Andre, wanted to have me, Billy, killed, right? You're a slightly bigger guy than me. You're like...
Excuse you?
What I mean is...
Excuse you?
From the side, we have a different profile, right? So if I'm sat next to you in the car, you would not rely on me as a human shield. I'm too skinny for that. But...
Yeah, fair enough.
And Tupac was also a skinny guy. Suge Knight was a big guy. So if I'm going to pay someone to shoot the person who's sat next to me in the car, I'm not going to have them shoot them from the side where I am on the other side of them. Because one stray bullet, and that's me done.
Fair,
and this whole thing is fucked then.
Fair.
I think if he was going to like organize a hit on Park, it would have been when he wasn't there. Or, you know, not when he's sat right next to him.
No, man, you need to be in the car, man, when this happens. Because otherwise, they can't actually blame it on you. Because you're going to be like, oh, I'm there. I'm here to save his life. Actually, tried my absolute best. Oh, no, it didn't happen. Probably, you know, he just missed the angle. They should have shot him from the front. Because, you know, he was sitting, you know, he wasn't driving. You know what I mean? Like, they just got the wrong angle.
Yeah.
You have to understand, these are the Crips. They didn't go to school. They don't know angles, man.
They're not competent at this.
That's why you get the mob involved. You know what I mean?
You know, in LA at the time, they basically were the mob. You know, there was huge and lots of money.
You know, Crips and Bloods, they fight each other and they fight other Crips and other Bloods. As in, they
there's so many factional splits, man.
Just
genuinely,
if you're a Crip, you're not gonna get along with other Crips. which is insane.
It's like
Like, if you do organized crime, guys,
we're all here to make money.
Just get it together. You're on the same team.
At some point, Andre's going to like go missing from like public life. His wife is going to be like wake up and he's just not there one day. He's going to disappear and he's going to emerge in the crime world under the name Andrini.
Andrini, why Andrini, dude?
He's going to be doing a terrible Italian accent and he's going to be telling people how to do.
No, my
Italian
accent is good. Don't tell me about my Italian accent.
It's like, guys, we're all here to make money. Crips, Bloods, who gives a shit about which side of the street you're from? Like,
fucking stupid.
Yeah, I would love to see that for you. I think you'd be great at it, and I think I wish you well on your journey.
Thanks. I'm trying. This is my platform. I'm trying to get people to.
If you are out there running a criminal enterprise, please contact us on.
Do not contact us. Okay,
that's the thing. The Tupac thing is interesting. I haven't looked into it as much as I probably should have, but I think quite a lot of the time, if there's someone who's a piece of shit, like near a famous person who dies, a Courtney Love, a doctor who's like, living in your house and taking your money, or a Suge Knight who's just kind of an asshole and steals money from people, then, they're going to try and blame it on the biggest asshole in the room. So,
which is fair.
If you become friends with a famous person, don't be the guy who gets like, who's
also,
the biggest asshole.
Famous people for the low fee of £2,000. Pounds. We're gonna do pounds a month. I'll be your friend and actually gonna tell you the truth. So if anybody's famous out there and you're looking for a real friend that's actually gonna tell you the truth to your face and make you get therapy, contact me for £2,000 a month. Thank you.
Pay me to tell you the truth. Instead of yes man, get a no man.
Get a I'll tell it to your face straight man.
To be honest, if I was,
because I would not say no if the idea is good, man. Like,
Yeah, and like, if someone says to you, hey, I'm thinking about starting a criminal enterprise, you'll be like, yeah, perfect, I've been waiting for this.
I was waiting my whole life for
allow me to show you some Excel spreadsheets I have just for this occasion.
So, I have a panel. It's in a list form because I have issues, but you might find interesting point 8.
I think this is going to be a lucrative career for you. I want to end on this on a slightly positive note, however.
Okay, positive, yay.
Slightly positive note. The mystery of Tupac may be on the way to being solved. Ooh. In 2023, 3 years ago, Dwayne Davis, who was the uncle of the man who was in the fight with Tupac earlier in the day, and was also a member of the Crips, he was arrested on a conspiracy to cover up murder or something like that.
Okay.
He is now on trial. The trial has been going on for 3 fucking years.
Yeah, American.
Because American high-profile lawyers, whatever. But he remains on trial and in prison to this day for the murder of Tupac. He pleads not guilty. We shall see how the trial develops. Watch this space, people. We might finally discover who killed Tupac Shakur.
Well, or not.
Well, not. But I don't know. It's 20 years out. Who the fuck knows? 30 years out at this point. What am I talking about?
Is it 30 years already?
1996.
Oh, yeah.
30 years since Tupac, man. He would have been, 55?
I'm old. On that note, thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, whatever.
I've made you really depressed with the death of Tupac, haven't I?
Yeah, I did. You did.
I know. I'm sorry. Listen to some old Tupac, people. It's good. It's still good music after all this time.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.